International break is finally over and Luton can play their 4th game of the Premier League season this weekend against Fulham. We are away from home and we are in need for some points as we haven't got any so far. We were unable to get any points from our opening 3 matches. We did play Brighton away, Chelsea away and West Ham at home, so some points are really needed at this moment in time to give our group of players some confidence going forward. We've got some big games coming up against Fulham, of course, and then against Burnley, Everton, Wolves, so you are looking at against teams that are probably going to be around those relegation places but also mid-table in the Premier League in this upcoming season. So we are in desperate need to be trying to get some points and go on a little bit of a run in our next 4 to 5 matches. But it all starts now against Fulham away from home. As long as we don't repeat what happened last time we played against Fulham away from home, and that, what dreaded 7-0 defeat it was, I believe, where Mitrovic broke the record and whatnot. Hopefully none of that ever happens again in this Premier League season. Of course, Mitrovic won't be scoring in this game because he has obviously moved to Saudi Arabia. So hopefully, goals are going to be limited from the Fulham side. But let's actually talk about this game against Fulham and give you guys my overall thoughts heading into it. So firstly, I do want to talk about formation. Now, there's been a lot of discussion over the last 2 weeks throughout the international break about whether or not Luton should change formation. Now, the current suggestion is, should Luton change to a 4-2-3-1 formation, which does involve having wingers. Basically, it takes away a centre-half, which we would normally play because we do like to play with 5 at the back, and it also takes away a striker as well. Now, let's talk about the 2 strikers first. So, Elijah Adebayo and Carlton Morris have not been working together well since the start of the Premier League season. Now, Morris, when you actually compare Elijah and Morris together at the opening, 3 Premier League matches on their head-to-head stats, Morris is kind of beating Elijah by a dramatic amount, which suggests to me that Elijah is not obviously performing very well. And I don't think he really is. Against West Ham, he was a little bit better, but the first opening 2 matches against Brighton and also against Chelsea, I don't think he was the best. Do I think Brown deserves an opportunity, Jacob Brown? Yes, I do. I think he's had some impact when he's come on the pitch, and I also thought he was really good against Gilliam as well. Now, if we were to move to a 4-2-3-1 formation, this would also suit Jacob Brown, as Jacob Brown can also play as a wide player, a wide attacking player. So it does make sense a little bit to move to this formation. So anyway, Morris and Elijah are not really working together up top. They're not having opportunities at the goal. And then we move to the defensive side of things. Now, despite us playing with 5 defenders, we are obviously conceding too many goals. We've conceded, the 3 goals against Chelsea. We've conceded 4 goals against Brighton. And we've conceded 2 goals against West Ham. Does that mean we're going to concede 1 goal against Fulham? I don't know. But what this suggests to me is, despite playing 5 at the back with a defensive midfielder sitting in front of them, we're just not, defending well enough. And we're not protecting the back 4 well enough. And what the 4-2-3-1 formation does is, it actually gives us the opportunity to play 2 defensive midfielders in front of a back 4. And I do think a back 4 is the way to go. We are very weak in defence. I think we just have to put our hands up and go, yeah, we're not the best defensive side in the league. Our midfield is better than our defence, 100%. And with the current injury rate or record which we've got at the back, it just screams to me that we should just move to a 4 at the back. These are professional footballers. I understand that changing formation is a big transitional period, but they're not stupid. They're intelligent footballers. They're Premier League footballers. They should be able to handle any formation and tactical change that the manager asks from them. So for me, I would want to see a formation change to a 4-2-3-1. And what this would look like would be whoever will play right back in Kapore or Alfie. The 2 centre-halves, well, it could be Reece Burke and Mans Anderson, Reece Burke and Tom Lockyer. Whatever centre-back partnership Rob Edwards wants to go with, he can pick. And then at left-back, it gives actually Amari Bell a chance to go back to a left-back position rather than a centre-half position. And also, it may actually help Ryan Giles out a little bit, because what's happening is the first opening 3 Premier League games of the season, we've conceded goals down our left-hand side. So defensively, we're not good enough down that side at all. And what that allows us to do is, if we play with a 4-2-3-1, our fullbacks will also be protected by our wingers who will be in front of them. Whereas before, when we were playing with a 5-3-2, for example, our fullbacks were sometimes getting, ganged up on the wings in a 2v1 situation. So it gives us a lot more protection. It balances out our midfield as well. And I think going forward, it would benefit us a lot more. Now, when we look at our midfield in the first 3 matches, we've been playing Nakamba, Chong and Barkley, or Nakamba, Chong and Pelly. Now, the midfield balance isn't there. It just simply isn't there at the moment, and we need to find it. Now, with us signing Lokonga from Arsenal on loan, he's going to need to play. You don't sign a loan player and not play him. Arsenal are going to expect him. Now, I see this being a perfect system for him as well. He can literally be that defensive midfielder alongside Nakamba, sitting in front of the back 4. Now, yes, the 4-2-3-1 formation does allow us to play with wingers, so we can play Chong out on the left, Brown on the left, Alfie can play on the left. Ryan Giles could be maybe a more attacking left winger, for example. So we've got players that can play winger as a winger. You've got Ogbeni as well. So there's opportunities there. And then as a number 10, you can play Ross Barkley, you can play Clark. You can maybe play Chong as a number 10, or Corley Woodrow. So there's plenty of options. Our players are very versatile, and this system does seem to fit our group of players extremely well. Ross Barkley, that's how he became a star, being a number 10. And I know maybe over the course of his career he's maybe dropped a little bit deeper, but maybe as a number 10 he can still do it. And when I was watching him against West Ham, after re-watching the game back, he actually did a lot better than what I first thought. And West Ham at some points were ganging up on him with 3 or 4 players around him. So, that scare and that factor, what he can produce on the pitch, is still there. So imagine that that player being in a much better position further forward within the team. So overall, I would like Luton to switch formation. I just don't see us getting many points and scoring goals, especially with the current system which we're playing in the Premier League. We're making far too many individual errors. Our defence isn't protected as it should be, and we're not creating enough opportunities at goal. And all these factors suggest to me that the system is simply just not there. Yes, we have played 3 really difficult teams, but now this is when we need to start getting points, and we need to be able to get them very soon. So let's talk about Fulham, who we are playing. Fulham, for me, haven't been the same team which they were from last season. Obviously, there has been a few factors. They have played it obviously against Arsenal as well, and against Manchester City so far this season. So they've had some tough start to the Premier League season. They've also played against Brentford, which they ended up losing 3-0, and they did win a game which was against Everton. So, they've had some, good results. Also, getting a point at Arsenal was a good result, despite being down to 10 men as well. So they are a team who I actually expect to finish around the mid-table mark, but I just don't think they're gonna have the same season as they did last season. I don't think recruitment's been as good as it could have been, and that's why I think they're going to be around that mid-table place. I don't think they're going to go down, but I do think they're just going to be around that mid-table position. We just need to go to Fulham and just try and grind out a result as much as possible. Fulham, they do like to play with wingers, and that's what they aim to do. So that's why I'm more inclined for Luton to switch formation to playing wingers as well, so we can match them a little bit. I believe in the past Fulham have also played the 4-2-3-1 formation, so this is something that could be played against us this weekend. So yeah, it's one of those where we just need to get some points as soon as possible now. I think signing the 2 players when we did during the international break, well, before the international break, gave them a good chance to, get better, but also give them a chance to blend in with the group of players which we've currently got. Osho and Potts are still far away, same with Clark as well. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what type of system we're going to go with, what type of formation we're going to go with. But I'm hoping it's a positive one. Hopefully we do change it. If we stick with the current one, I want to see some changes. I do want to see the likes of Brown in, and I don't want to see Ryan Giles playing because defensively he's not done it. That's just my opinion. But yeah, those are my overall thoughts, guys, heading into this one. I just feel like we need to get something, and that's the main objective here. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section of the video. My score prediction, I'm going to go with a draw. I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw in this game. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Follow me across all my social media, and I'll see you all in the next one.